Welcome to Procrastination Limits, whereas mercy isn't always an option. In Undertale, you have either the option to fight or spare enemies. So how about we try being a pacifist, or at least as much as we can without using the mercy button? This obviously includes not pressing the spare button, but it also includes not running away from battles. I did a similar thing in Deltarune before. However, instead of not being spare or run away, it was without using spare or pacify. But there's no pacifying skill in Undertale, so that can be ignored for now. So this is going to be a very different case than to Deltarune. You see, Deltarune had a more modern approach to enemy encounters, where you're able to actually run around them in the overworld and avoid them. Think of it like how the Mario and Luigi games or Earthbound does it. But Undertale has a more classic style to it, where enemy encounters are just random without your choice in the matter. Think of it like Pokemon Tall Grass, but the tall grass is everywhere. Because of this, every battle is basically going to be a force to us in some sort of way. Now, there is a way of avoiding enemy battles in Undertale. See, if you pause buffer your movements, an enemy encounter cannot happen while the game is paused. So you're able to just go through every room in Undertale by pause buffering, and you won't have a single enemy encounter. However, I feel like that's against the spirit of the challenge, so no pause buffering to skip battles. Here are the rules, feel free to pause to get a better look at them. Now that we have fallen down, we start the challenge, and our first encounter is with Flowey. But I mean, we don't want to fight, but we don't have any other choice. Luckily, we cannot spare Flowey with mercy, as in, there's not even a mercy button to press. So this battle does not have to end in violence either, since there's no fight button either. In fact, no button menus are available to us right now. But the battle does end when Toriel saves us. And now, after saving us, she wants us to learn how to defend ourselves, well, or how to use the act button. So we do it, and she ends the battle with the dummy before us. Now as we follow her into the next room, we encounter a froglet, which we use what we learned to just complement it, and Toriel will end the battle for us. But once she leaves us on our own, we're off to friend ourselves, which means Toriel cannot end the battle for us. And while this froglet will tell us that we can use mercy to end battles peacefully, that's against the rules, so we just head on and we continue another froglet. Now, last froglet was easy, that we always had to do was use compliment, but if you remember, that ended only because Toriel intimidated the froglet to leave. But now you can see here, no matter how many times I use any act, whether it's compliment or threaten, the battle does not end. So, with the battle not ending, we're only forced one way to end this fight. So that'll be our first case of fighting in this challenge, if we didn't have the power to time travel. The enemies are based off a step counter that has a random number added to it, so if we're lucky, we can go through rooms without any encounter. But not only that, we can also encounter Winsome, who, if we use console, runs away for us, meaning we didn't have to use any spares so far. Now for this room, if you were to fall down, I suggest heading back left and then going back right, as that resets the step counter, which gives a higher chance of not encountering an enemy in this room. However, in this second rock room, I can only find enemy encounters that had either at least one Moldsmal or one Frogget, neither of which that can be spared in this challenge. So no matter what, this room is adding at least one violence to our count. But we ain't over yet. As we continue, we're given another save point. So I'm just going to show off just some of my failed attempts, such as getting frog in the first room, getting 2 mold smalls in the second room, another frog in the first room, and another frog in the first room. And that's it. Not too many attempts, so it wasn't that bad. And now we got nice Luke. For them, just keep cheering. They can't self-deprecate forever. And after the final use of cheer, battle was done. Now, you might think I'm gonna get a spider donut for Muffet, since that skips the battle. No, we're not in this challenge, at least not yet. Then after saving and a few failed attempts, we go through the room hoping we don't get a single encounter, as the only enemy we can bear here without using the mercy button is Vegetable, who after we use dinner, they'll offer us some leafy greens to eat. After we take one, we simply just use Devour to finish them. For continuing, we're gonna get the toy knife. I know we don't want to use violence, and even if we did, toy knife is not the best for it. It does have a use in this time. So after sleeping in bed, and totally not messing up this menuing right here, however, to exit the ruins immediately. We're off to fight Toriel. And by fight Toriel, I meant that literally. And by literally, I mean technically. See, if we use the fight button, but without pressing the confirm button to attack, we'll miss. Which, despite the idea that that means that Chris had tried attacking her but just is bad at it, he instead takes us as us giving her mercy. Which I mean is good and all, but doesn't really make that much sense to me, but if it works, it works. So we just have to keep fighting but not attacking. Now I have a lot of practice in this, but for your sake I will speed the rest of the battle. After a lot of turns of this, the battle is done. And she gives us our freedom back. With the hug to go as well. Clever, very clever. You think you're really smart, don't you? In this world, it's kill or be killed. You will play by your own rules. Spare the life of a single person. Frogget, Vincent, Vegetoid, Lukes, Megox, Moldsmall. Think about those names. Do you think any of those monsters have families? Do you think any of them had friends? Each one could have been someone else's Toriel. Selfish rat. Someone is dead because of you. I wouldn't say that I spared the life of a single person, rather ended the life of a single person, that being Frogget. But we can take things our own way, I guess. And we're off to Snowden. We're off to Snowden and next time. We ain't done here yet. If you paid attention in the battles, I named the fallen human Feather because that's me. But this person that we played as is not called the Feather. In fact, they're called Frisk. If we name the fallen human Frisk, you'll see that this unlocks hard mode. Now hard mode starts the same up until the point where Toriel leaves us, where all the encounters are a higher variant to the enemy. Mostly people call them the core versions of the enemies, but these are actually slightly weaker than the core versions, which is nice, but still harder than the ruins version of the enemies. This means that Whimsun becomes Whimsalot, which means that they're no longer spareable in this challenge. Since Whimsun is off the table, that means in the first Rock Moon, we're gonna face off against an enemy that we're gonna have to fight. In this case, Final Frogget. Now the second Rock Room, once our downfall in the previous run, is now our savior in hard mode. Vegetoid becomes Parsnip, but the battle is relatively the same. Simply use Snack, which they miss here as Snake, heal from it, and then use Devour, and that counts as a peaceful end to the fight. Now, as far as I can find, there was no way to encounter a lone Vegetoid in this part back in normal mode. If there was, I might have to redo this entire challenge. But in none of my attempts did I find a lone Vegetoid. Now we can save our progress. And then we head off to fight Natsudu, which is unchanged from normal mode, but if you want to see some hard mode level attacks, simply use check or threat after you use their cold fat move. And I'd say you get some hard mode adjacent attacks. So if you do it, you're no longer able to spare them through cheering. This is just something I wanted to show off, because I don't think many people know about it. But anyways, back to this battle correctly. And like last time, I'm not gonna name a spider donut, but that's because we're not even gonna meet Muffet. Anyways, we head on, and like last time, we just hope we don't find any enemy encounters. But if we do, now, hopefully it's just Parsnip. Now this time I am going to avoid the toy knife, as it offers no use here. Anyways, Toriel is the next fight, and she's basically the same. So, the end of the battle is, I guess, slightly different, but it's just that this is not the end of hard mode. And with the end of hard mode, I'm going to show off our stats. As for spares, we have Flowey, the Dummy, the first Frogget, Absolute, and Toriel in both hard mode and regular mode. In regular mode, we also were able to spare Winsome and Vegetoid. While on hard mode, we were only able to spare Parsnip. So that would be 8 points in total. However, we did use 2 uses of islands. Frogget in regular mode, and Final Frogget in hard mode. Bring our score from 8 down to 6. Next time we're doing Snowdin, and we'll hopefully see that number go up instead of down. So I don't know how that's going to go with the Royal Guard being forced to encounter. But if you want to see that, subscribe so you don't miss the next video in this series. And if you come this far, how about you leave a like and comment on the challenge itself. Hope to see you next time in Snowdin.